People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, obviously I'm reviewing the Premier League ratings from my perspective for a number of players. We might as well speak about Callum Chambers and Sokratis. Now, let's start with Sokratis. I feel Sokratis, the highlight of his season was probably that mistake against Watford. I do think there was a time where, you know, a number of defenders were playing well. Like at a period, Mustafi and Luiz have shined. I think it was when Arteta first took over. I'd say Sokratis' season went downhill when he got injured, and people benefited from that injury. You know, they got to nail it down, and he's since been thrown out. I feel, you know, if Chambers never got injured, maybe Mustafi never even gets a chance to redeem himself, because Chambers was getting first team football under Arteta. But in relation to Sokratis, he's frozen out and he's barely played. You know, he's had one little go at right back against West Ham, and other than that, he's not been involved in the Premier League. And he said he's not leaving at 32 years of age. You know, he might concede, you know, let me get my last little payday from Arsenal next season and then bugger off, which is cool. For Arsenal, we need to move him on. You know, it's clear. It was clear to see Sokratis was on his last legs anyways and wouldn't get to play under Arteta at some point, because he doesn't. Out of all the defenders, he's probably got the least ball playing ability. You know, he's probably the most old school of the defenders, and he between that and other people's form, he just hasn't got a look in. So I'd give him a 4 out of 10 based on this season. He has had an occasional good game, but other than that, it's not been a campaign to remember for Sokratis and stuff like that. And it is one where he's shown that he's evidently not at the level to move forward with people. In relation to Pablo Mari, I'd give him a 5 out of 10. He's not really played too much for Arsenal, really and truly. But in what I've seen, you know, he's barely put a foot wrong. He has looked a bit, you know, it does look like pace is something that would stress him out. But he looks all right. He's not really been we've not really seen him play significantly where we can really critique. You know, he's only probably played a handful of games. That my memory is pretty poor. But there was a game he did look quite shaky. It was a City away. He did look a bit booky. And in one of the couple of games he started at the Emirates, if he did, I'm pretty sure he did. He's looked all right. You know, at 26 years of age, we're looking to Mari to show that he can be a competent player. And obviously, he's now injured. He's only made 2 appearances in the league, people. So I'll give him a 5 based on them appearances, because he's not been involved. He's had the ankle injury. He's just joined mid-season. You know, he's been really restricted. You know, he got 24 minutes against City. So yeah, it was okay until that injury happened. He really only played once against West Ham in that 1-0 victory. He looked alright there, people, in that 90 minutes. So I'll give him a 5 out of 10 based on what he has contributed this season. But really and truly, it's a bit of a joke. In relation to Callum Chambers, I'll give Callum Chambers a 6 out of 10. You know, I think he looked really decent until his injury happened. I think he was really doing his best to have a real go at carving out a long-term future for him. And again, injuries, you know, you're out of sight, out of mind, people. You're almost a forgotten man. Nobody's checking for you. You know, you've got Luiz, who seems to be Arteta's rolling with. Mustafi's form has been okay. You know, Saliba's coming in. There's talk of another centre half at 22 years of age, contracted until 2022. He might be moved on when he proves his fitness. You know, but I'll give him a 7, man. I'll give Chambers a 7. Because I actually was really impressed with Chambers, especially in the period up until he got the injury, people. He only made 14 appearances, which is quite sad. He got 90 minutes at centre-half against Newcastle. He done well against Man United at full-back in the 1-1 draw. He played all right, man. I think he did well against Chelsea in that 2-1 defeat. That's probably the standout game for me with him. He looked decent against Norwich as well. He looked all right this season. He has had some clangers and things. Who did he score against? He scored against Villa, which is a highlight for him. But I think he really made a go of things. And, you know, it was another season he's coming back from a loan spell. You're wondering, is he going to have a future here? He did his thing, man. The only thing now is he going to have a long-term future here? I'm happy to see he's returned to training. I think Arteta will use him. I think Arteta will utilise him. But, again, a year's a long time in football. Maybe Arteta was initially going to use him, and pardon me, because of circumstances, things have changed. But I think he's done all right, man. I really think I was impressed with Chambers. Impressed is a shout, but I think he did all right, man, out of the centre-half. So clearly Sokratis is the lowest performer. So yeah, shout out to Callum Chambers, Pablo Mari and Sokratis for their contributions during the Premier League season. On that note, I'd love to hear yours, but I'm going to get out of it. Deluded.